When I started recording this video, I thought I would share a case study of a client who has been making $5,000 every single month by the use of this SaaS app for fitness clients. But while recording this, I thought why not share the whole process of creating this app right from the blueprint, the automation backend, and also show you how to create a front end so that you can also create apps like these and probably make your first successful SaaS app. So in today's video, we are going to learn how to create a SaaS app using this workflow. We'll have the webhook, we have the data coming into ChatGPT, then we'll have a JSON parser, and then that parser would be parsing our data inside the Google Sheets. And then our Google Sheet will automatically have the data that the user has logged or uploaded. And then our front-end app is going to reflect those changes for the front-end client, right? And you can also have a Stripe integration so that anybody can sign up for your web app and start using it after getting a subscription from your Stripe account. Okay, so to make this web app, we should make sure that we have the complete picture in mind before we even start. So this would be our master blueprint, which we'll follow so that we don't get lost in between figuring out what to do next and what to do after that. All right. For every single app or every single project that you do, you should have a blueprint like this before you even write a single piece of code. Okay. So for this one, this would be our flow. The first thing that we will do, we will be taking an input from the web app, which would be a no-code app in our case from software. Okay. Then that input would go to a make.com webhook. Right? A webhook is basically something that listens to input events always, and whenever something happens, then it executes the logic, which is next in the logic chain. And the next step in that logic chain would be ChatGPT Vision API, which will basically figure out what is presented inside that picture of a meal and what are the calories of all different food items present in that meal. Okay, that ChatGPT Vision node will then give us a result, which would be our vision result, which would have all the information that we want or need from that particular picture of a meal, right? Then we'll extract whatever information we have gotten from that vision result and we'll put all of that information inside a Google Sheet or an Airtable database, whatever we are comfortable in doing with. And lastly, our data that is saved inside the Google Sheets would be called back inside the web app so that the person who's entering or filling that form with that picture of their meal will get the information back, what exactly was that meal and how many calories were in total inside that meal. So basically our user will only have access to this and this. So first and the last step, all of the things that are in between is something that the user does not know that they even exist. And this is what is all the backbone or the backend of your app. All this logic flow is the heart and basically the brain of your app. And today I'm going to teach you how to do all of this in this video. So let's start with making our scenario first or making our logic flow first. And we will use make.com, which is a no-code automation platform. If you don't know what Make is, I have done a complete video focusing on how to get started in make.com, which you can check out at the top right of this video. And I'll highly recommend you to go through that video first, because without knowing the basics, you will not be able to understand much of what we are going to do today. Okay, so let's go to make.com first. And this is our make.com. I'll just log in and I'll just create a new scenario for you in just a second. So this is our new scenario. Okay, and according to our logic, we have to first set up a webhook that would be listening for the events from our web app. Okay, so let's start. Click here and we click webhook and we click for custom webhook. Okay. Now here, if you already have webhooks, you can choose one of them. And if you don't have one, you can just add and give it a name, whatever you require, and just press save and it will create a new webhook for this particular scenario inside Make. Okay, so here I can use this and this will give me this URL, which is a unique URL for this webhook only for your Make account. I'll tell you how to use it in just a bit. Let's quickly see what is the next in our workflow. So the next is ChatGPT Vision. Okay, so let's create another node and we click ChatGPT. Oops. Yes. And we will have to use this one, analyze images or vision workflow of ChatGPT. Okay. So we click this. And if you don't have a connection, you can just make a connection with your OpenAI account. And this will give you access to the OpenAI API through which everything here is going to happen. Okay. So let's give it a prompt. You are a fitness expert and a nutritionist. You will be given an image of a meal, analyze the image, and break down the food items with their respective calories. Also, provide the total number of calories in the meal. Okay, so take this. Okay, the image would come from here, and the problem is right now we don't have any placeholder that we can put in place of this because we haven't run our webhook yet, even for once, right? So let's do it before we even start building our web app. And the way to do it is a website called Postman. Okay, so we go to postman.com. Okay, and we click this send API request. We click this a new request. We go back to our webhook, and we, first of all, let me save this as, let's name it as food inspector. Okay, we save it. Let's save anyways. And we turn on our webhook like this, and we click here again. We copy our address to clipboard. We go here, and here we paste our webhook URL right here. Okay, and we have to pass some keys. They don't have to be exact keys, what exact data is going to get inside the webhook, but it can be just an example data that you are giving just to make your workflow work right now. Okay, so let's give it a key, which is date, and let's give it a date for day. Let's give it a time, let's say 10 p.m. and let's give it a image URL. So let's give it a image.jpg. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to just unlink it first, or we don't even have to do it. We just can click this, run this module only, and once we click send, see what happens. We have all this data which we had passed inside Postman. So date was this, time was 10 p.m., image was this. Date was this, time was 10 p.m., image was this. Okay, so without doing anything like in production, we just have passed a sample data inside our webhook, and we can use this data to make our workflow first, and then we can figure out how to link the exact data that is going to come from our web app. Okay, so we check this out, we click here, and now we can add an image, and this image URL can be taken from here, right? And this is why we did all of the Postman stuff which we just did, because we have to have a mapping of an image to pass inside our ChatGPT node. Okay, so let's choose model as GPT-4 or mini. Max token, I don't keep any max token because I like to keep it open. So this is how it's going to be. Prompt, okay, the prompt wasn't saved, so let me just quickly paste the prompt again. Okay, so let's press OK. Now, once this is analyzed, we have to pass this data inside a Google Sheet database or an Airtable, whatever you wish. In my case, let's make Google Sheet, and let's create a new Google Sheet to link it up right here. Okay, so we go to sheets.new, and if you don't know, sheets.new is a shortcut to create a new Google Sheet inside your Google account in which you are logged in already on that particular browser. Okay, so we click here, and this is our new sheet. Let's quickly make name food inspector, and let's give it, what are the fields that we will need to populate inside this sheet? One would be date, one would be time, one would be maybe meal image, and very important, the last would be total calories. Okay, so this is done. Let's go back and let's create a new Google Sheet, and here we will choose add a row. Okay, and let's click here, food inspector. This is fine. Sheet name should be sheet 1, contains headers. Okay, date, time, all of that. Now the problem is here we cannot map anything because this ChatGPT model hasn't even run yet. Okay, so, and we can't pass any values right now because we don't have any values. So let's try to do the same thing with Postman and try to pass on some value so that we can at least map these values and see if our workflow is working even before we make any web app and spend our time trying to make our web app work. Okay, so we just click OK here, and we're gonna unlink this right now, and we're gonna, this node just needs an image URL. Okay, so let's Google an image URL. Let's say, let's go to Google and let's search for lunch meal photo. Okay, let's click on images. This is, let's figure out something which is something which looks nice. Let's go with this. It looks healthy also. So let's copy our, let's open image in new tab. This is, let's visit this, and where is that image? These images are very small. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Let's copy the URL from here, copy image address, go back to our make. Let's run this module only and paste the image right there. Let's see if it works. Okay, so now the data that is returned is, okay, so it has figured out what are the details of this meal and what are the calories that are present inside every single thing. So it has spinach, chicken breast, avocado, pomegranate, hummus, red onion. All of that is amounting to about 661 calories. Okay, and that's what we want. We want to figure out just by the pick of the meal what are the calories of every single food item inside it and what is the total number of calories. Okay, so this is done. Now if we connect it right now, what will happen is we can have date here, we can have time here, we can have image here, but here we cannot have total calories because the result here is the whole long text which ChatGPT has produced, and we cannot just extract the total calories from the text right here. We have to do it in some other way. So let's do that. We click cancel. So we unlink this. We instruct ChatGPT to export this whole thing as JSON, because we can parse JSON in whatever way we like, but we cannot parse this whole string, this whole long string in something that is useful to us. We can, but it's going to be a little complicated because this whole thing doesn't have a structure, but JSON would always have a defined structure that is easier for us to basically extract information from. Okay, so let's give it more instructions. Output everything in JSON format, just using curly brackets and nothing else. No other, no, just output pure JSON, curly brackets without the text JSON. Because in my experience, sometimes ChatGPT returns JSON with JSON written on the top, and this confuses our text parser, our JSON parser inside make. You'll just know how. So we'll do that, and then we'll create a node which is a JSON parser, and we'll parse the JSON, and the JSON string would be a result of this. Okay, so let's run this and let's paste our image right here, and let's see if we have the correct output data from this. Okay, so let's see our choices. Content. Nice. So we have all the data that we need. So we'll create JSON and we link it and we'll paste it like that. And now here, okay, let's test this as well. So if we click this, it will ask us for the result, which we can copy from here. So we'll copy this messages content, and we'll copy this whole thing and we'll paste it here, and let's run this only. And this has given us all these details as separate mappable items, right? So we have total calories here, but we also have individual calories of all the items that are present inside our meal. And the best part is this is all dynamic. The meal can have two things and it will return only two different arrays or these kind of values or bundles as we call it. And if it has like 20 items, it will give us 20 different collections or bundles without doing anything. And this is why we used a JSON parser instead of just trying to hack our way inside by text modifications or stuff like that, right? So this is the correct way to get the data from ChatGPT node and then try to parse it via JSON. Okay, so now we have a value inside this node. Now we can connect this node to this, and let's make our date here, our time here, image here. Total calories would be from ingredients and total calories like that. Okay, we can also write down or make a separate columns for all these different items one by one, but that is extremely easy for you to do if you understand all of this. So let's keep it slightly simple for today and let's hit OK here. So our logic flow is mostly complete unless it has some error later. So this is everything that we have to do inside of this plan, right? So up till here we have done this, right? We actually have also done this, and we actually also have done this, right? So we have done our webhook and we have done passing the data from webhook to ChatGPT Vision, getting the ChatGPT Vision data as a result, and then passing that result back to the Google Sheets or Airtable, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the whole logic that we had to implement. Now we have to create a web app inside software that's going to do all of that thing as front end for our client. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so let's come to software. And if you don't know, software is a no-code app builder. So you don't have to code anything, but you can still create a lovely looking client-side apps which can run over browsers for you. Okay, so let's log in and let's do a start from scratch, and let's just be a very simple form, which we will do. And I don't think we need anything else. We can have a sign in and sign up also. We can have all these profiles. I think that's for now. Let's create an application. Okay, so for simplicity, let's just go to form. Okay, now here we have to change this form. Okay, so so this is a different form. So let's change it and let's go to form and let's create a form which is customizable form, because this is a fixed form which I cannot change the fields of, which I don't want. Let's create a customizable form like that. Let's delete this one. We don't need this. Okay, so this one would be uh, log your meal, okay, the meal that you have today. Okay, now destination would be make and send to, this is the webhook URL that software is asking, and that we will get from yes, from right here. We select this, we'll copy the address, and we'll go back and we'll paste this address. Okay, this is done. Now let's change our fields. Okay, so we don't need anything of these, so just delete all of these. We don't need any of these. Okay, so we'll just need a date and time. Okay, date and time, and we'll just need a file. Yes, label should be upload meal image. Okay, and submit inquiry. No, not inquiry, but let's click log meal. Okay, and the action would be just doing nothing. It's fine, and we are sending this to make.com as a webhook. Okay, image. Oops. We click save image as, and let's say we click this, and now we go to software, and then we preview this. Okay, now before that, if we submit this form, nothing will happen. Why? Because our make webhook is not in listening mode, so we have to turn that on. So we go back to make. Where is make? Yes, and we first of all uncheck this, and we click run this module only, right? So now it's waiting for the data that is going to arrive, and it's going to arrive when we submit our form. Okay, so let me just make it side by side. Okay, and let's keep it and let's give it a day, a time, whatever. Okay, let's give it a file, and the file is right here. Okay, now we log our mail and see immediately this is the data that we have received from software. Okay, now we know what the workflow looks like in make, so it's going to be much easier for us to map all of these new elements inside our whole workflow. Okay, so let's close this for now, and let's work on the make, and let's join it again. Now here we have to map our image URL to the URL that we have gotten from here. Okay, so the URL of the image is this one, right? So field 2. So we map this field inside our image URL. This is fine, and JSON is fine. Google Sheets. Okay, now we can map the date here like that. Time also, we can do some array functions to. So here we have the whole date time as one single value. We can do some array manipulations to cut the time out, and to do that we go to text functions, and we do substring. Okay, and we substring as this, and this cuts from these values 0 and 3 outputs HEL, and 1 and 3 outputs EL. So we have to put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So maybe 10 and 15. Okay, and image could be this one. Okay, total number of calories would be that one. Okay, so this is all fine. Let me just check once again. Okay, so let's run it once again, and we go back to software and we click preview, and let's run it once again. And this time, first of all, we click save, and we click run once, and we click date and time. Let's say 24th. Time would be, let's say, 20. File would be right here, and we log the meal. Let's hope our whole automation runs without any error. Nice. So all of things ran very nicely, and just check what are the things that we got. Yes, total calories this, and this must have broken down all the things separately, right? Total calories this, and let's see what the row updates happens. So let's go to our Google Sheet, right? And this is, okay, the total calories was not updated for some reason. Let's check why was that. Let's click output. Updated cells 3. Why did it update only 3? Let me check. Okay, so this was not mapped correctly. Let's do it once more. And let's go back here. Let's delete this. Okay, and let's make it bold, be a little more nicer. Let's go back here. Oops. Let's run it once, and let's make it again. We go to, let's say, 30. Time would be whatever, 15. This would be lunch meal. Let's click log meal. And now it should work without any hesitation. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. Now if we go back here, now we have everything nicely done. Date and time have some issues, but we can sort it out by using format, date, and stuff like that. But otherwise, our main job is done. This is our meal image. This is the total number of calories, which honestly is the only number that we are concerned about, because if one of you understand nutrition, the only thing that matters is you have to be in a calorie deficit throughout the day and throughout the week to lose your weight, or you have to be in a calorie surplus throughout the week to gain weight, right? So it doesn't matter really that what a specific calories each of the meal has, but even if that matters, we do have our per meal detail about every single thing that we have eaten inside that meal of that picture. Okay, so you can add those rows and cells as well, but right now let's do with that. So we go back to software and creating the software app. Now what we can do is either we can have this in a different page, or we can add the resulting data inside the same page, so that it's like a web app which immediately reflects what has been inside your meal. Okay, so if we add a block, and let's add a table. Where is table? Okay, table might not be good. Let's click list with horizontal cards. Okay, let's do this, and let's format this first. So we click a source, and then we add a new file. Click food inspector, and we click sheet 1. Okay, this is fine. Let's go to content now. We don't need anything like this. In the image, maybe we can have the meal image if it works. Why did it not work? Because it was in the heading. You see, there is a small heading image, which is also nice, but we don't want this. Okay, I think it's nice. Let's see, if we can add an image before we do anything else, because image would be very nice to have. We should have a meal image like that. Did it come? Image, where is the image? Let's delete this. Yes, nice. This is what we got, and we'll quickly just delete all of this because we don't want any of this. For here, we just need 3 things. One is date, one is time, and one is total number of calories. That's it for a very simple app. Okay, so let's create our date. Let's create our time. time is fine, and that's it. Okay, so this is fine. On we can have a search bar, but we don't want to have a record adding system here because we are adding the records from this log mail option, right? So let's delete this whole filters. We don't want any filters. And we can have, or maybe we can have a date as a heading, right? And we can have total number. Oh, we didn't have total number of calories. Uh, let's click total calories like that. Like that, and we put it up like up here. Okay, now date is not relevant, so we just delete that because date we are having on the top of this. Okay, so I know there's a problem with the date format, but that can be resolved without a problem. That's very easy, right? I'm just trying to figure out how to delete this add record button. Content, search bar, filter. If we turn off the search bar, what happens? Okay. Actions. Okay, this is the add a record. I don't want it. And here we can have a title and subtitle. So title would be meals, and okay, so this for me is right now almost a complete web app that you can have as an MVP, or you can actually give it to the client, because the only usable thing that a client needs is one, a signing in option, which is already there inside software, which is what it makes by default. So it has a signing in and a signing up section, which it can automatically create users based on these things. And once a user is signed in, he can log their meal directly, right? And they can get feedback instantly what is logged and how much calories were inside that meal. And you as a coach on the backend will be receiving all of this data inside of this Google Sheet, which would be for that particular client or your mentee that you are trying to coach. Okay, so let's test it out. Now, this is our litmus test right now. So we'll run this and we will preview this and we'll take it side by side and let's see if it gives us back. And let's see, first of all, if it runs correctly. And secondly, if it gives back the data, which is right here, which it should, because it's a dynamically updating field that we have created, which is linked to our Google Sheet right here. Okay, so let's go again and let's have a different image of food. So let's say we click this one. Okay, we click save image as, we just click save. We go back to our automation and now let's log in our meal for, let's say, 29th. Time could be anything. Let's upload a Buddha bowl and let's log the meal. Let's hope this runs correctly. And let's hope this pops up a new meal in just a second. We have our new cell, which is the image, the time, and the total calories that particular meal had, right? So you can imagine, you can have this app as a ready app for your clients, and they can just simply enter their date and time and the picture of their meal, and the coach that is behind the app can literally figure out what is their total calorie intake, what exact meals they have been taking in a day, and then they can instruct their clients how to fix things or change things or do whatever they wish to do with that data. Okay, so now we go back to software, and here once this app is complete, you can also have a Stripe page inside it so that people can just sign up and pay for your app, right? So for that, you can have a page and you can just add a new page, which is payment. And here you can have a Stripe checkout form that is linked. right? And for that, you have to go to configurations, uh, settings, and go to integrations and click on Stripe checkout. And here you can paste your perishable key and your secret key that you will get from your Stripe account. Okay. And I think that's very easy. You can figure out that yourself. Every single thing that you are using right now does have a pair of API keys. So just paste yours right here and this will work. And now it's a complete SaaS app that's a calorie tracker just made with make automations, with Google Sheets and with software. So the flow would be the client will come to this app. Let's click publish here. Let's go here. We can go to sign up and this can be a sign up. We can go to sign in and this can be a sign in, and you can go to form, and here is your form that the client can fill once he's signed in and logged in. This is showing me my data because I am the admin of this account right now. But if somebody is new, it will show it a blank slate. And then once they do log their meal here, what will happen in the background is the make automation will run like I just showed you, and the Google Sheet will be updated right here, and you will have access to all the information that you need to have. Okay, so coming back to our plan, we did all of this in today's video, and we had our web app, that is the software front end. This is our, we made our make.com webhook. We tested our webhook first before deploying. We had our ChatGPT vision, then we had a result, and then we mapped those results to the Google Sheet while also displaying that result inside the web app front end, so that the client doesn't need to be worried about all of these things working in the background and is just concerned about input and output. And the best thing about this whole workflow is the amount of frictionless logging that the client will have to do, because normally people have to manually search for foods and then log their foods. But this app is just going to be a plug and play. It's going to be extremely easy for the client and also extremely easy for the coaches who are coaching those clients. And ultimately, you can sell this to a lot of people and generate a pretty sweet amount of money, which several of my clients are already doing right now. So that was it. I hope you learned that how to create a SaaS app from scratch. And not only the automation part, you also understood how to create a blueprint, then to follow the blueprint using automations, and then to ultimately create a front end which you can sell to multiple customers at scale. So make sure you subscribe to my channel because there is a lot of content coming up real soon. I'll see you in the next one.